What is going on, everybody, man? I love this opening. I was like, you know what? Let's do an opening breakdown. Let's go scene by scene and just rewatch this, go through it slowly because there's a lot to process here. I think this goes without saying. If you are not a manga reader, if you're an anime only, do not watch this video because I'm about to go ham. I'm not holding back. This is a spoiler zone. Nothing but spoilers are gonna come out of here. So I'm gonna go ahead and start up here, and we're just gonna go through it because listen, man, I dig it a lot. Yeah, that opening sequence might be my favorite opening sequence out of any opening we've ever gotten. So we start off with the Straw Hats as it's floating in the air. I think it's a really cool shot to start off an opening with. Just really nice. And then we have this opening goes in, man. Luffy goes in and grabs it. It looks like a movie when he comes in and grabs this. I mean, a spectacular, spectacular animation. It looks so good. He grabs it or go with a coat. Then we go to Whitebeard, Roger, Rocks, and Shanks. And I'm like, they showed the panel from chapter 1001. Luffy sealing his potential. And when I saw that, I was like, when we get to that episode, now it's confirmed. When we get to this episode in Roofies, whatever episode that may be, based on the fact they had this in the opening, you already know they're going to go in. They are going to go in so hard for this part in the anime. I cannot wait, dude. That junk is going to be cool. It is going to be so goat, man. We flip over to Kaido. We see Kaido for the first time in hybrid form within the anime. And it looks spectacular. You see the Conqueror's coating leaking out of his mace as he goes into clash with Luffy. Luffy comes in, going into strike, and they go into clash, and it switches. And we transition into the title, which has a lot of scenes from later on in the opening, sprinkled in throughout the sequence where the opening comes together and spells out the title of the series. We show the entire crew here. We see the goat with the coat. The Onigashima, the exterior of Onigashima as it is going into the air. Chapter 997. What I like so much about this is if you were to just look at this from the outside, you'd be like, okay, it's just Onigashima. Nah, it's the island being lifted. It's like, yo, it's chapter 997. And I thought that was a really, really cool touch. And then Zoro, you see him doing a sort of gesture here. You already know how he feels or what he did in that chapter in chapter 997, so I think that was really cool to have that there. It's to see the Tobiropo. In regards to the scene that I'm sure has all of us puzzled at this point in time, and that is the scene where the skull of Onigashima moves on its own. Henry Thurlow had this to say about this scene. He said that it was a director's request and that all background elements except the clouds and the skull moving forward, almost as if alive. Now, we've had these assumptions in the past that the directors know way more than we do. I mean, of course they do. But in terms of foreshadowing future events, we can't tell if this is foreshadowing for some sort of future event until it happens in the manga, so I can't tell you if it's that. The only thing that I can say about this is that whatever this is going to be in the same line as the scene where Kaido blows up the Flower Capital with the blast breath that was in this opening, and the scene with the log poses frozen in ice. If those three things are the director knowing more than we do as manga readers, and that those are going to come into fruition when the time comes, then sweet mother of Flagnards, that's exciting stuff. Because just based on those three things, we can theorize so much. So much. And so I'm excited if one of them ends up happening. I don't care which one. Whichever one of the three ends up happening, we can look back and be like, hold up. This was shown in the opening before it was shown in the manga. Then we can look back in the other two and theorize and speculate about future events in the manga based on that. Now, with that being said, if it is just a director's request in terms of having this look really cool within the opening, then it's safe to assume the other two scenes were also put there for aesthetic value in order to make those parts look much more dope than they normally would have by having Kaido blow up the Flower Capital and the frozen log poses and stuff. So we'll have to see where that goes. But for right now, my brain is going, this might be the directors leading on what they know is going to happen. But we'll have to wait and see. And here we can see CP0, of course, with Orochi in the background, going back to that chapter 930, 929. And then here we see Hyogoro and Drake. We're looking forward to seeing that Hyogoro right here is back in his form as we saw him in chapter 1005 and 6. Kaido versus Yamato on the roof. Extremely excited to see when that plays out. We get to see Yamato as a child crying. This flashback is going to be incredible. We go into a little sequence here that showcases that Yamato is still binded by those chains from the past, which is something that she brought up in chapter 1024. So I thought that was a really nice sequence to put in there, because I love that chapter and it allowed me to understand the relationship between Kaido and Yamato, and Yamato more as a character, and I really like that chapter. We get to see the way it looks in the flashback against Ace. And here we see Ace as it transitions into Marco, and Marco sheds a tear for Ace, man. A really nice touch as he's going in against King and Queen from chapter 1006. Love this sequence. And as Luffy goes up into the air, we have the chapter 1000 scene of him going gear third, jumping up. Of course, it's out of context because he's running up Kaido's scales as a dragon. But that's the exact same motion that he did in chapter 1000 for the Red Rock. And he comes down, punches Kaido's scales as we go into transitioning to Frankie versus Sasaki. Just really cool in the way they're able to implement these things out of context so that we as manga readers can get excited. But individuals out there who have no idea what that is, like, oh, okay. So I'm glad that they kept stuff like the Red Rock and chapter 1010 and certain parts of the roof, even the legendary panels, they kept them out of there. They were like, you know what? We're going to wait until we get to the anime for those scenes. And I like that. I like that they showed a couple of these scenes out of context for that. When the Red Rock gets animated, I firmly believe that this sequence will be changed from a regular Gear 3rd Giganto pistol to the Red Rock coming down on Kaido's scales, which is going to be really cool to see in the opening. And then we get to see the sequences of the Tobiroko fights. And man, dude, these are going to hit different. I can't wait for these fights. See Frankie and Sasaki going up in like somewhere. That's going to be a fun battle whenever we eventually get to that. Robin, the way that she ended chapter 1021, and it's like, or 1020. This is the way she ended 1020. Course, and then going in 1021 with her actual fight, but going up against Black Mighty already in her form. We get to see them battling. I cannot wait for that fight, dude. That fight is gonna go in so hard. We even get to see the chains or the webs that are there, you know, representing chapter 1004 as well. We get to see Chopper. We already know what that attack is for. Whenever he goes in and he attacks Queen, we get to see who's who versus Jinbei. That fight's gonna be a lot of fun to see in the anime. Looking forward to seeing how they extend all those battles for sure. Is this Zoro using Conqueror's Haki, or am I tripping? Is this that scene from chapter 1033? Done in a creative way? I don't know. I might be reaching. But these look like individuals that were knocked out by Conqueror's Haki to me. But I'm really surprised they didn't showcase what they showcased in We Are, which was Zoro's Ashura. I'm honestly really shocked that they didn't show that. So it's like, wow. Then we get to see Sanji going up in like swimwear, Ulti in page 1, Atama coming in with the Komainu. That, of course, hasn't happened yet. That is going to happen in chapter 1012. So we're already seeing some insight into that, and that Big Mom is going to be the one to chase after them with Usopp, Nami, and Brook there. Kaido's hybrid form looks fantastic in the anime, man. It looks really good. I love that this Kaido and Luffy clash is literally is there even a single chance you can beat me? As long as I'm alive, there are an infinite number of chances from chapter 1026 as they go in with Conqueror's Code and Business. Like, yo, this opening. The Conqueror's Coding Clash. Conqueror's Coding Clash. And the sky splits from chapter 1026. And it's like, yo, bro, out of all of the scenes, right up there with showing the panel from chapter 1001, this was the one that shocked me the most. Ravel's like, what? You're gonna show that? You're gonna show the sky splitting? So here we get the scene from chapter 1015, where Luffy calls up to Momo, utilizing the voice of all things, letting him know that everything's good. And what I like so much about this is that it's Kid and Law pulling him out of the water. And I think that's really dope. and it goes into the next part of the opening, which just shows all of them hanging out. It reminds me of a Haikyuu opening put in One Piece. The final scenes of this opening are really, really cool. They remind me of like a slice of life anime taken straight from Hungry Days Cup Noodle. I love the vibes. Really cool shots that we got to see with the characters interacting with one another. I just really love this part of the opening. But that has been the opening 24 breakdown. Really enjoy this opening, man. And it's really cool the way they were able to utilize these sequences in a way that, yes, if an individual were to watch this, of course, they would know certain things are coming, like certain matchups, and of course, Kaido's hybrid form. So there's a lot of spoilers in here. But even if somebody were to watch the opening, there's certain things that they would not get spoiled on that I thought they were going to include a lot more stuff from the manga. So I'm happy with what we got. And the way they did it was really creative, and I like it. I like the way it sounds. I like the way the opening's presented. The visuals are phenomenal. Just really like it, man. So that has been the breakdown. Let me know what you guys think about this opening in the comment section down below. And until next time, I will see y'all. Have an awesome day. One Piece greatness, man.